Today we will be discussing Chapter 2, Personal Equipment and Protection. Your objectives to this chapter are as follows. Describe the clothing that should be used in a high-angle rescue environment. Describe the personal equipment that should be used in a high-angle rescue environment. And describe the fitness and health concerns when working in a high-angle rescue environment. Making the correct choice of clothing and personal equipment to use in a high-angle environment can give a greater margin of safety, add to the rescuer's comfort, and enable the rescuer to perform the job more effectively and efficiently. There are many different manufacturers and types of PPE available. You must determine what is best for you but still meets safety standards. A major consideration when choosing PPE for rope rescue is how it will fit. Loose clothes and PPE pieces, such as wristlets and laces, can and will get stuck in rope hardware. This can cause you to become a victim and not a rescuer, adding to the incident. Outer clothing. Clothing protection should maintain warmth and ventilate when needed. Wetness is the greatest threat to installation. A shell, such as a waterproof jacket or parka, or clothing constructed with breathable, water-resistant types of fabric, such as Gore-Tex, E-Vent, and Entrant, are examples of outer clothing protection. An insulating layer of clothing should be worn under the shell. Cotton tends to lose insulating qualities when wet, wool retains warmth when wet, and polyester pile is a recent development that feels comfortable next to the skin. Underwear made of synthetic materials dries quickly and tends to draw moisture away from the skin. These are all examples of inner clothing. The helmet protects the wearer from injury and reduces the severity of injury from falling objects. It also reduces the severity of brain injury should you fall and hit your head. Only helmets specifically designed for high-angle activities should be used. Rescue helmets must have a secure chin strap and should have a 3-point suspension system. They should be constructed with plastic, fiberglass, composites of fiberglass, and composites of Kevlar in various plastics. They should resist impact and penetration and enough give to absorb some of the blow of the impact. Straps should be worn tight as not to choke the wearer. Chin straps should always be worn, and rescues require a lot of looking over edges. An unstrapped helmet could lead to an unnecessary injury. The inside suspension of a rescue helmet should hold the shell away from the skull during a blow and provide air circulation and comfort. The helmet may have a slight brim, but the profile should be narrow enough to allow a good upward field of vision and ensure that the back of the helmet does not catch on a pack when you raise your head. High-angle rope rescue helmets that are usually adequate for high-angle work are certified by the Union of International Alpine Associations and the European Committee for Standardization. Helmets certified by the National Fire Protection Association have good impact resistance, but most fire helmets are too bulky for high-angle rope work. The cardinal rule is don't buy a cheap helmet for high-angle work. A rope rescue helmet may or may not be suitable for other rescue disciplines. Examples of this would be a swift water rescue helmet. Consult the manufacturer's ratings before use. Fire helmets should be avoided if possible. Oftentimes, firefighter helmets are heavier and bulkier than rescue helmets. This is a major concern if a fall is sustained. Most rescue disciplines require eye protection, and rope is no exception. Always wear eye protection and use the appropriate eye protection for the work environment. Gloves are worn to protect the hands against the weather, burns, and abrasions from the running rope. The gloves you choose must also allow the hands to retain the sense of feeling so that the fingers can manipulate the equipment. Rope rescue gloves should not be removed for rigging and knot tying. You must master rope tying with the gloves on. Footwear must provide comfort, protection, and adhesion. Leather possesses the qualities most needed in the multi-purpose boot for rope rescue. Boots should provide support to the ankles, protect the feet from scrapes, cuts, and bruises, be pliable enough to be comfortable, and had adhesive soles. USAR specific and some station boots are acceptable. Rescue work usually does not require special rock climbing shoes. A good choice of socks is important for warmth, comfort, and preventing blisters. A two-sock combination can reduce friction on the skin that causes these blisters. Rubber boots are not appropriate for rope rescue operations. Effort should be made to break in boots before rescue work is to be performed. This will reduce the possibility of blisters and ensure wearer comfort. Standards that apply to the construction and use of some seat harnesses are established by several organizations. NFPA 1983 classify harnesses in two groups, Class 2 and Class 3. A Class 2 seat harness is meant for heavy-duty work by one person or in rescue situation in which another person's weight may be added. A Class 3 harness is a full body harness meant for fall protection and for the use in rescues in which inversion may occur. Here is an example of a Class 2 seat harness. A seat harness is among the most important pieces of equipment for rope rescue activities. It is essential that you choose a harness for safety, security, and comfort. A badly fitted seat harness can result in severe discomfort and can prevent the wearer from performing a task. A Class 3 body harness is a combination seat and chest harness. A chest harness worn with a seat harness can be quickly connected or disconnected from the system depending on the needs of the user. A full body harness is a good choice for use in rescues in which inversion may occur. Seat harnesses are usually constructed of nylon or polyester webbing. The most secure and comfortable seat harnesses are those pre-sewn and manufactured. A tied emergency seat harness, sometimes known as a hasty harness, may be used in a pinch. A secure, comfortable seat harness should have webbing at least 2 inches wide and stitching that is securely and evenly sewn and of contrasting colors. It should also have leg and thigh supports, allow you freedom of movement, and is easy to put on and to adjust. They should not slip down when you walk around. A seat harness should allow you to easily return yourself upright while hanging on a rope, and it must not allow you to fall out when you are upside down. A seat harness should have front tie-in points designed so that you maintain the correct center of gravity, and these stress points should be faced with an extra webbing and the use of heavy metal connectors. They should also be certified by the appropriate standards. A full body harness is preferable to a seat harness in the following situations: when involved in a dangerous activity, when heavy equipment is to be worn, when a person is of greater weight, and during activities when it is necessary to stay upright, and also for placement on a subject in some rescue activities. Seat chest harness combinations may be preferable to some rescuers. It allows the wearer to choose options based on specific conditions. The chest harness can be quickly connected to or disconnected from the system, and a rescuer carrying a chest harness can use it to hold a rescue subject upright in certain types of operation. Chest rigs and seat rigs that come together should only be used together. You cannot put a chest rig from one manufacturer with another manufacturer of a seat harness. There are differences between climbing and rescue harnesses. Climbing harnesses are made to be lighter in weight, cut for ease of movement, made for recovering from leader falls, have reinforced webbing loop to attach the belay rope directly to, and are designed to meet different standards. Rescue harnesses generally have a metal attachment point to which carabiners can be clipped directly onto them. Designed to meet standards developed by NFPA standards and usually have heavier and bulkier material. They have wider webbing and padded for comfort and sitting for long periods of time and are not designed for lead climbing. When securing hardware, all equipment should be kept attached to something secure. The equipment loops that many harnesses have are a convenient place to secure equipment. Just because you have space to carry equipment doesn't mean you should. Equipment should be limited to what you may need for self-rescue or to set up another system. All rope rescuers should have a reliable headlamp. Choose a headlamp that is easily adjustable and field serviceable. Always carry extra batteries and a spare bulb. Knives present a real danger of personal injury and can easily destroy life-supporting equipment. An exposed knife blade is particularly dangerous to ropes loaded with the weight of one or more people. The use of advanced skills and optimal equipment to extricate oneself from a jammed rappel device in similar situation is better than cutting. Hydration is another important consideration in any rescue operation. Dehydration can affect your ability to keep warm and think properly. Energy reserves are diminished and electrolyte shifts affect your fine motor skills, causing disabling headaches and muscle cramps may occur. The important thing is to drink fluids constantly, even when you're not thirsty. Dehydration can occur in hot and cold environments, and clear or light-colored urine usually indicates adequate hydration. Thirst is a poor indicator of the need for hydration. High-angle rescues often take place away from vehicles and support. Responders must be self-sufficient. Rescuers who do not provide their own rehab may find themselves unable to continue their mission and potentially become a burden to their fellow responders. This is the case with all rescue disciplines. If rescuers can master self-sufficiency, they can learn to work more efficiently. The human body can survive only in a narrow temperature range. Too much heat or cold causes dangerous mental confusion and eventually death. You must be able to adapt to changes in temperatures and weather by adding or removing clothing and other protection. Proper PPE and application of PPE will help with reducing this risk. Suspension trauma, also referred to as orthostatic intolerance and suspension syndrome, is a potentially fatal condition. It occurs when a person hangs motionless in a seat harness for too long. The condition results when the individual's position in the harness reduces venous blood flow from the extremities to the right side of the heart, with subsequent reduction in cardiac output. Those that are most at risk for suspension trauma are those who are unconscious, hypothermic, dehydrated, or fatigued. Anyone who appears to be in danger of suspension trauma should be brought down and unclipped from the harness as quickly and as safely as possible. There are reports of victims of suspension trauma dying suddenly after being brought down and released from the harness. Therefore, affected individuals must be handled carefully and monitored closely. Rescuers who must hang from a harness for long periods can reduce the potential for harness suspension trauma by repositioning and moving about in the harness to facilitate blood flow. Crush syndrome is a potential medical consequence of harness suspension trauma. It can lead to renal failure and other life-threatening conditions. Medical responders should consider the potential for crush syndrome in their treatment while closely monitoring vital signs and have the individual examined by a physician. This is the conclusion of Chapter 2, Personal Equipment and Protection. Please take a moment to read the next several slides in summary. Thank you.